What up, Get Up Nation? My name is Ben Biddick, the host of the Get Up Nation podcast and co-author of Get Up, The Art of Perseverance, with former Major League Baseball player and CEO of LeronLiving.com, Adam Greenberg. I love connecting with all of you out there who are tired of the negativity in media, and am honored when I hear how you're enjoying the positivity of the Get Up Nation podcast. Today I'm wishing Renee and Scott Parks health and healing as Renee continues to battle cancer. Renee has one of the most inspiring Instagram accounts I've ever seen as she chronicles her journey through her cancer treatment. I was honored to have her as the third guest of the Get Up Nation podcast. Check out her episode today and wish her well via the Instagram account at resilient.renee. I also recently spoke with Evan Williamson, the creator of SoberLifeApparel.com, based in Texas. Evan created this clothing company to empower and support those battling addiction as they strive to create a new reality in recovery. He shared how his own battle with addiction was the catalyst that led to him serving others. Today I'm speaking with Evan Williamson, the creator of SoberLifeApparel.com, a brand dedicated to helping people transition from addiction to recovery. Evan, what led you to create this company?
I'm very passionate about helping people, as you said, transition from addiction to the sober life. I was an addict for a while, and I'm in recovery. I'm passionate about the life of walking in freedom.
My understanding is that making that transition from addiction into recovery, there are a lot of changes that have to happen with people's mindsets and who they associate it with and the culture that they're associating with. To make that transition over, how does your brand help contribute to that process?
Well, I really believe in the psychology of wearing a better lifestyle. So if you're waking up and you put on a shirt that says Sober Life, you're putting yourself at a higher standard. You're keeping yourself accountable. You're not going to go to the bar or go think about scoring drugs when you're wearing something that says Sober Warrior, sobriety, recovery. I really think that's helping change the mindset of people leaving from addiction and having the negative mindset of the shame and guilt into the, no, this is who I am, and I'm going to wear it loud and proud.
Have you had some experiences with people who are wearing your clothing who are experiencing that for themselves? What kind of feedback are you getting?
I'm getting great feedback from people all around the U.S. as well as some other countries. People in the sober living communities, they wear it. They go to meetings or they'll go to speaking events and be up on the platform talking to crowds of hundreds of people and be like, this is who I am now. I am sober. That kind of like, it helps them identify with who they want to be versus the situation they're actually in. And I've only gotten positive feedback from it, which is really great.
So people can learn more about you at SoberLifeApparel.com, correct? How else can people interact with you?
They can reach me at SoberLifeApparel.com. I have Twitter. I have Facebook fan page. I also have a group for people in recovery to stay networking with each other and keep each other accountable, as well as encourage and share their story at Sober Life Group at Facebook.com.
If anybody listening to this that is struggling with addiction or is working toward recovery, what message do you have?
My message probably would be stay strong. It is hard at times, and ultimately one of my favorite scripture verses is the suffering that you're experiencing at this present time is not worthy of being compared to the glory to be shown to you. Thank you, Evan, for sharing how you've created a brand and a clothing line to contribute to the mindset changes of those who are seeking to liberate themselves from addiction. To understand more about the process a person goes through during a transition from addiction to recovery, I spoke with Corey Devine, a clinical substance abuse counselor and licensed professional counselor at ConnectionsCounseling.com in Madison, Wisconsin. He shared with me the challenges people face as they attempt to transition from addiction into sobriety and how the staff at Connections Counseling helps people achieve a lasting liberation from addiction.
My name is Corey Devine. I've been a clinical substance abuse counselor with Connections Counseling for going on about 12 years now. I'm also a licensed professional counselor too, to work with mental health as well. So Connections, there's a reason I've been at this clinic for my whole professional career in the addiction and mental health field. The philosophy is really rooted in connection of the person that's entering into recovery with other peers in recovery, and the mentor program is really a core component of that. We believe that the culture of feeling good and positive and excited about this new journey that you're on in recovery is difficult to attain, if you're just doing it on your own. And so there's such an emphasis on the group support and getting connected to the recovery community. And again, I wouldn't be doing this job if I saw people get sober and be miserable. That would be, but to see that sense of hope and that trust and that movement forward and in a whole new life, it's super rewarding and inspiring, and there's not a lot of programs like that out there.
Why is connection with others so important when it comes to transitioning from addiction to recovery or sobriety?
With opiate addiction, there are obviously a lot of environmental factors, that have contributed to their use and their development of dependency, over time. And a lot of that is obviously in relation to peers and different things of that sort. And so, really, medication-assisted therapy is really the norm with opiate dependency. So that's kind of where it starts. And then, so with that, we're talking about things like Suboxone, Vivitrol, Naltrexone, basically medications that are allowing an individual to go from active use to building the beginning of kind of building the foundation for their recovery without having to deal with the intense withdrawal, both physical and psychological, because that's really kind of the barrier for a lot of people making that transition. Because they're, if they're trying to quit, trying to abstain, they're going through intense withdrawal that is keeping them kind of stuck in that lifestyle because they're sick and have to feel normal, and so the medication piece of it is kind of the initial catalyst. Now that's not to say that's for everybody, but if you're truly dependent on opiates, either they're going to be going to detox or they're going to cold turkey it, for 2 weeks on their own, which is super difficult to do, or they're going to come into a program like ours and get in and try to get that medication piece of it figured out. Once that is in place and they're stabilized with that really kind of opens the door to them being able to start creating the building blocks to develop a strong recovery program. Because at that point, they're no longer, ideally anyway, no longer dealing with kind of that day-to-day, run around of getting opiates to get rid of the sickness and all that kind of thing. So then what we do, for example, is we typically plug them into either our intensive outpatient program or a general outpatient program, which provides them with a ton of support and education around relapse prevention and building, social networks and things like that. So where the mentor program really comes into play is people that have been in our program that have gone through our program, I should say, that have been able to abstain from all substances for a 6-month period at a minimum, and are actively, working a program, and that can be, attending 12-step meetings or smart recovery or, just a consistent kind of regular and connections programs. They, if they want to, can be in position to move into a mentor role. And that mentor role really focuses on them kind of reaching out and, giving support, just being an ear to, to talk to, kind of helping the new person in the program bridge that gap between the using culture and a recovery lifestyle. And that's, maybe taking them to meetings, 12-step meetings. That's taking them to, we offer a lot of sober events, which is basically just opportunities for people to get together with other people that are in recovery and do, pretty much anything, from going to a ball game to a concert, a game night or out to dinner, whatever it might be. But just kind of giving them a person that's in that program and is established and has developed a sense of hope and passion for sobriety and kind of giving them that light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. Because otherwise, they're coming in and they're most of their friends are still in the using culture. They're a lot of times battling with depression or anxiety or trauma-related issues and things like that. So sobriety in the beginning looks and feels pretty bleak without that, those people kind of on the other side that have been through that initial kind of real difficult process and are experiencing the good stuff in their life. And that's they mirror that, to the individual, and that's really where they the new person in the program really kind of begins to see, okay, this is not about what I'm going to be missing out by getting sober, but this is more so an opportunity and a new, kind of life ahead of me, so to speak.
Do you have any examples of when that transition happens, where they go from the culture of using to that transition into where the concept of sobriety is not a negative?
I think that a lot of it is, and in fact, we have somebody in the group right now that's just starting and is, the second day into the group, feeling totally overwhelmed. Emotions are all over the place. It's a really confusing time, because that normal that you experienced for so long is as miserable, and as much suffering came with it. There was a comfort in being numb, so to speak. And so those initial days, weeks for that matter, can be really raw and confusing and discouraging. And so, like, we've got, for example, today in this group, we've got 2 mentors in there, and then a handful of people in the group that are nearing the end of their cycle in the program. So they're just about to successfully complete. So they're giving feedback to this young person and saying, hey, everything that you're feeling and experiencing is totally normal. That's what I went through. And it was dark and hard and scary, but trust us, trust us. The simpler you make this, the sooner you're going to get there. If you complicate it by overthinking it, by kind of challenging, the program, or challenging the philosophy of recovery and thinking, I can just do this on my own, I don't need anybody's help, that's gonna set up some barriers to make that transition. So it's really, not pushing any of this stuff on them, but just being there in that raw, kind of vulnerable moment. For a lot of people is kind of part of what creates that kind of immediate sense of trust. Now, that's not the case with everyone, but a lot of the time I think they start to feel, okay, these people are real, and this isn't a fake process. This is a real, genuine kind of thing that I'm feeling. And so, maybe a week or 2 in, maybe once they start to go to their first meeting, or go to their first sober event, or reach out for the first time, or take a call for the first time from somebody that's trying to help them, I think that's when they start to feel, okay, yeah, I can do this, and it can be a very rewarding, positive experience for me.
Amazing. Corey, thank you for taking time out for Get Up Nation. How can people learn more about Connections Counseling?
Connectionscounseling.com, or Facebook, Connections Counseling, you can find out all about our programs and different things we offer. And anybody in the community really can show up at one of the sober events that's sponsored by Connections.
As epidemic levels of addiction imprison people in cycles of pain, I appreciate and value people and organizations that refuse to sit on the sidelines, but instead tap into potential and passion to liberate the enslaved. If you're ready to make this transition, use the resources described here or locally in your community. Get help today so you can get up into the glory that has yet to be revealed in your life. Don't give up. Keep going.